Shalom, family. Good to see you all here. Hope you're doing well. Well, if you were here yesterday, I showed a video and it was at a church, and the pastor was being protested because he was part of ICE. And Don Lemon was there, and he said right on the video, I'm not part of the protest, I'm just here as a reporter. Well, Nicki Minaj saw the video and had a meltdown, and she was calling for the arrest of Don Lemon. Now, y'all, if you remember, after she did Turning Point USA, there was a petition, and people were all over the internet demanding that Nicki Minaj gets deported back to Trinidad. That's where she's from. So, well, that has ignited again. People are calling for her deportation. So, I don't know. She seems to have these random beefs online with people, which is weird, but she does. And now she's taking aim at Don Lemon. So go figure. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so you can hear how people felt about that. They certainly were not happy with her. And yeah, girl is a trip. All right, let me get here. Please give me a one if you can see my screen. Okay, thank you.
So people have been asking me about responding to Nicki Minaj's unhinged, homophobic tweet about me. I usually don't respond to this stuff, but let me just say this. Nicki Minaj, stop talking about shit for which you know nothing about. This is out of your depth, by the way, and you are a homophobic bigot. You don't care about African Americans. You're not an African American. From what I know, you are reportedly an undocumented citizen, so you should be deported under Donald Trump's rules. And the other thing is that your family members, you have one family member who is reportedly a sex offender, the other family member, your husband or whatever, a sex offender is your husband, and one of them is reportedly a pedophile. And you have nerve to talk about me and what you think that I do? Nicki Minaj, get a life. Stop being a pick-me. You should have put a pick-me doll on that damn tweet instead of a Chucky doll, because you are nothing but a pick-me. And I choose not to pick you. And so should black people, and so should gay people. Shouldn't buy your music. Clock that.
Nicki Minaj is furious and Don Lemon is her target. After Don live-streamed a protest that interrupted a Minnesota church service over alleged ICE ties, Nicki took to X and went nuclear, y'all, calling him a homophobic slur and demanding he be locked up. Don Lemon, completely unbothered, he fired back saying Nicki doesn't understand journalism and calling her a pick-me doll. Now here's where it gets messy. The White House has entered a chat. Trump's press secretary says he doesn't tolerate harassment of Christians, and the DOJ is investigating the protest. Meanwhile, Nicki, a vocal Trump supporter, y'all, is standing 10 toes down. So here's the real question. Is this about protecting churches, silencing protests, or celebrities crashing out online over politics they don't fully understand? Because once politics, religion, and celebrity beef mix, it isn't about the truth anymore. It's about control. Crazy.
Nicki Minaj tweeted this to Don Lemon. Don Lemon responded to the tweet. Before I get into it, let me let you know what happened. There's a church in Minneapolis, or outside of Minneapolis, where the head pastor, or maybe one of the pastors of the church, also works as a federal agent with ICE. Once that was found out, Don Lemon and some individuals thought it would be a good idea to go into that church during Sunday service to approach him about it. Now, let me say this. Whether you agree with ICE or not, that pastor does have the right to not only be a pastor, but also work with ICE. He has Every right to do that. Whether you agree with ICE or not, he does. It was wrong for those people to go inside of that church during Sunday service to approach this guy about it just because they don't think he should be a pastor. There was women in there, there's children in there. I'm sure they were scared. They just went to church to praise their God, whoever their God is. It was wrong. Let's just get that out there first and foremost. Don Lemon's response was a scathing response. He essentially said, Nicki Minaj, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't have the depth or the knowledge to even come to me about these type of issues. That's one. Two, he said, isn't your brother a pedophile? Your husband also on a registry for those type of offenses? We already know what it is. It's not new news. It's old. We said that to her. What was striking or what stood out, he called her an undocumented individual. He was like, you're not even a Black American. You're not even documented. You shouldn't even be here under Trump's laws. I'm saying I thought that was funny because I didn't know this whole time she was in America. She was just running around as an undocumented individual, right? Now, can that get fixed? I'm sure it can get fixed because with her standing next to Erica Kirk, Turning Point being so close to the Trump administration, I'm sure they can cut through the red tape and make her an American citizen like that. I thought it was funny that he called her an undocumented individual because I didn't know that. To the broader point, I do think Don Lemon and that crew was wrong for going inside of that church during church hours. They could have maybe caught the guy when he was coming out on an off church day when there's not children and women and children in there. You know what I'm saying? Let me know how you feel about Nicki Minaj's tweet, Don Lemon's response, this whole thing about them running inside of the church during Sunday service. You know what it is. Fresh thoughts.
I thought Nicki would be taking a break to start the year because of how the year ended for her last year, but I was wrong. And this time she's coming for Don Lemon and saying that he needs to be put in jail. For those of you who are unaware, the reason that she thinks that Don Lemon needs to be placed in jail is because he was doing his job and covering a story as a journalist in Minnesota. Don Lemon was covering a protest that was happening outside of a church because the pastor of the church, I believe, is in support of what is going on in Minnesota. Now, that seemed to piss Nicki Minaj off because she is on this whole Christian tour where she is celebrating Christianity and wanting people who in any way are disrupting Christianity to be persecuted, I guess. But my question is, and will continue to be, is whether or not you believe that people who are of the Christian faith should be supporting what is happening. And I know the answer to that question might be yes, given the fact that Nicki Minaj sat in front of Erica Kirk and praised everything that was happening with this current administration. A lot of this just feels like one big contradiction, if you ask me.
Some people just don't like to fact check because how Nicki Minaj getting online, you know what I'm saying, running with a false narrative like that. Don Lemon said he never did that. Don Lemon said he was not leading, you know what I'm saying, that protest. He said he was not participating in that protest. You would think with Nicki Minaj, with you being a big celebrity, every time we hear a story about celebrities, it always be like, oh, sources say. Why you couldn't check with a source before you ran to the internet? Why you couldn't go check with a source? You know what I'm saying? Y'all celebrities. But sometimes, I'm not saying everybody, I'm not saying she did this, but sometimes when people don't do fact check, it's because they don't like that person. That's what it is. I'm not saying Nikki don't like him, but already, you know what I'm saying, call this man a cocksucker. He never insulted you. And it's like that's a real insult because it's like it was no need for all that. But anyway, girl, anyway, y'all, it's a lot going on with them. I don't know what's going on. Nicki Minaj, baby, say fuck anything. She say fuck anything, anybody.
Fake right-wing propaganda news alert from this supposed right-angle news network, supposed network, that I led a protest into a church this morning in Minneapolis. That is complete BS. First of all, I had no idea who the organization was until I arrived this morning.
He had no idea who the organization was.
I had no affiliation to that organization. I didn't even know they were going to this church until we followed them there. We were there chronicling protests. Once the protest started in the church, we did an act of journalism, which was report on it and talk to the people who were involved, which included the pastor, members of the church, and members of the organization. There you go. So why don't you talk to the actual person who is in charge of the organization and whose idea it was to have the protest at the church before you start blaming me for stuff for which you have no idea about.
Don't blame him, guys. Blame her. Oh, man. Talk about calling her out.
Thank you guys thanks for allowing me to be here.
Okay,
Thank you guys.
Okay.
How are you?
Good.
To see you. We're on. We're not saying what it is, what's going on, but thank you. Tell us why you're doing this.
So
This is Nikema Levy Armstrong. She's on the show on
Levy
Friday.
Armstrong, civil rights attorney, longtime.
She was on the show, but he has no idea who's part of the organization.
This is Operation Pull Up, more of a clandestine operation. We show up somewhere that is a key location. They don't expect us to come there, and then we disrupt business as usual.
Disrupt.
Okay, so we're gonna go to the operation again. We're not gonna give any of the information away.
Don't give anything away, but you don't know anything. You had no idea. You didn't organize this. You didn't help with the organization of this.
And we all have the address, right?
Yes. Everybody has the address? Yeah.
So they're getting the operation together again. This is an operation that is secret, that they invited folks out. Can't tell you what is going to happen, but you're going to watch it live unfold here on the Don Lemon Show. That is what I could say. I turned our camera off of them because they're getting some critical information here.
Critical.
But there we go. Everybody's ready to go.
So they go to the church and they have a hootenanny because they think there's some kind of evil pastor there. But there is no evil pastor there.
Nicki Minaj, Perry, ma'am, here we are with you again. Nicki, understand that negative energy only begets negative energy. And so in the energy of you consistently attacking, because that's your sad nature, unfortunately, that you are taking your bow and just shooting it and shooting it and shooting it. But here's the thing, boo. You're like one of those people that shoot off in a crowd. You're just hitting people, but you don't actually have a target. So it's because you're literally looking for attention. And they say bad publicity is publicity nonetheless. You came at Cardi, call her children names, tried to attack her. You did that. Told you, back the fuck up. Take a moment. Heal your brokenness. Because baby girl, you need to heal your motherfucking brokenness. Because that is what keeps getting you into trouble. Then you decide that you want to align yourself with MAGA and you want to, because, you know, and it's not that it's going to help you on a federal level, because that's the only way it's going to help you. Because it can't help you on the level of where your brother got into trouble, which was state-wise. But honey, you know, it's kind of like, if you're going to implode, take the time and instead of imploding, get some fucking help. You got to get some help, honey. Now you done decided that you was coming after Don Lemon. And Don Lemon done pulled all your business out. Do you know who the fuck Don Lemon is? Do you know his connections? And how much of your business, if he decided to dig that motherfucker up, he could? And because he is the press, he could report it. And all he has to say is allegedly before it and not get into trouble. Like, allegedly, your brother went to jail for molestation. Allegedly, your husband is a sex offender. Allegedly, you know, aligned yourself with these different types of alignments, you know, the MAGAs, to see you on stage with Charlie Kirk's wife was fucking everything to me. I was laughing my damn ass off. And girl, you know, baby, if you just take a moment, just get some healing, baby. Get some healing. Because that hate that you keep spewing, it's gonna come back and really bite you in the motherfucking ass. And I'ma say it as a black woman, you know, I know that you are an Indian girl who does not like black people. You might align yourselves with us because it's good for your brand, it's good to get you out there, and you're not just an Indian girl, right? Because you do have melanin in your skin. And I mean, all Indians are descendants of Africans. I'm just being fucked up when I classify you because you seem to be okay with calling black children monkeys. So I'm okay with differentiating your ass because you seem to want to differentiate your fucking ass too. Because at no point in time is it okay for you to do those attacks. They canceled the fuck out of Erica Mena for calling a grown ass woman a monkey. I don't understand how you as an Indian girl is getting away with that shit. Because what, you got a little bit more color than motherfucking Erica Mena? I don't understand. But I'm gonna tell you right now, honey, that shit's not motherfucking okay. And you just stay getting canceled in black women's eyes. And you have put yourself in a very, very very nasty boat, honey. You need to jump the fuck out of that motherfucker with just jump the fuck out. Please get off that boat because that boat that you on right now, that attacking boat, you moving like fucking Hitler. You moving with a level of hate. And remember, he used the whole Sanskrit, the whole ideal. He used that from the Indian man, you know. That's why he used the swastika. Girl, I want you to find some well-being. I want you to find some peace. And I want you to take that ingrained hate and really take the time to work on it. Because the only person that you really hate, Nikki, the only person that you really have a problem with and that you really need to start checking, boo-boo, is you. Period and point blank. You can have a lot of people who's going to like you. You're going to have a lot of people who's going to want to support you in your bad behavior. But for the people who really see you, you know that we see you in a way that, come on, girl, stop your shit. You don't get to be a piece of shit and think that eventually you will not get flushed. So again, you're being asked by your soul and by God, take a moment, put the hate down, put the anger down, and go get some help. That's why you keep getting losses. That's why your life keeps going up in a shamble and you're trying to scramble to fix it. But if you were to just take some time on fixing yourself, on loving yourself, even just a little bit, not superficially, motherfucker, putting on a wig and a dress and putting some ass shots, that's not fucking loving yourself. That's the definition of not loving your fucking self. Because you felt like you needed to transform who the fuck you were instead of just loving yourself as you were created. Learn to love yourself, Nikki, because I know the brokenness inside of you. I could see it on you, girl. I could see the abuse that you still walk around with every day. I could still see that abused child that just won't let itself say that I was abused. Do you know if you stop holding on to that pain that you have inside of you and just allow yourself to be free and no longer protect your abusers, because that's what the fuck you doing. The more you continue to protect your abusers, baby, is the more abusers you're gonna find. Because if you think that you aligning yourself with Trump and these type of people is aligning you in a good place, you are gonna end up on one of them motherfucking islands somewhere looking fucking crazy because they don't value you, honey. And it's time for you to value yourself. Okay? Like, really, take time and get some fucking help before you implode and you end up being so embarrassed by the world, because I see you trying to unalive yourself if you keep going. I see you digging yourself into such a hole that your fans and these people will not be able to save you from the destruction that you are digging in your own mind. Nobody on the outside world could help you. I could only make messages. I could only send them to you. I could only pray that you even get to hear it and see it. Because, girl, you are fastly running into a piece of hell that, here's the thing, you're going to try, but you will fail. And in that failure, it will be a life that you don't want, because you would have damn near succeeded and crippled yourself and then be powerless completely. So your soul is asking you, and God is asking you, take some time. Stop fighting everybody. Get out the crowd and go and get some help. Because you are loved. You just have to learn how to love yourself and see God in you, and not this devil that you have consumed. Take care, girl.
Don Lemon, I am forever a lemon head. You going off on Nicki Minaj has set the tone for the rest of the year when it comes to you as an independent reporter and journalist. No other journalist or reporter is going to step to anyone the way you do. And I love this for you. I love how you are taking yourself and presenting yourself as authentic as you can, doing this type of work, and really standing up for Americans, because journalists don't do that and you don't see that anymore. And if she say it to one, she'll say it to all. And the way that she attacked you in the words that she had used in her tweet shows that she does not care about the LGBTQIA community. Because while she's out here questioning other people's identities, her identity and her citizenship is also in question, not just her husband and her brother. But kudos to you, Don Lemon. Just know that us Lemonheads, we are standing beside you. You're doing such a great job as a independent journalist. And yeah, Lemonheads forever.
Nicki Minaj is facing heavy backlash after posting a series of angry and offensive tweets aimed at Don Lemon. The tweets were triggered by Don Lemon's reporting on a protest that interrupted a church service in Minnesota. Nicki reacted online with all caps messages, calling Lemon names and using a homophobic slur. She also accused him of being biased and went as far as saying he should be locked up. The post spread fast and immediately caused outrage. Many people said Nicki crossed a serious line, especially because Lemon is openly gay. Critics called her language hateful and irresponsible, saying there was no excuse for attacking a journalist this way. Don Lemon responded quickly. He told TMZ that Nicki does not understand journalism and said she should stop commenting on things she clearly does not understand. His response added fuel to the online fight. The internet reaction has been intense. Some fans tried to defend Nicki, saying she was reacting emotionally, but many others said her tweets were unacceptable and damaging. Right now, the focus is not on the church protest anymore. The focus is on Nicki Minaj's tweets, her choice of words, and why she decided to attack Don Lemon so aggressively. This social media blow-up has turned into one of the loudest celebrity controversies of the week.
And at this point, Nicki Minaj deserves an award for starting the most random beefs in the world. Because what do you mean Nicki Minaj and Don Lemon was going at it today? I don't understand what's happening. So basically, Nicki Minaj kind of tweeted about Don Lemon for doing interviews in Minnesota at the church protest. And Don Lemon got on here and said, girl, you're talking about me. You need to be deported according to Trump's rules, okay? You're sitting up here talking about me. You're a pick-me, honey. Why are you talking about me? Worry about your family members. Worry about your husband. Worry about your brother. You're worried about me. Y'all, I hope that in 2026, someone just takes Nicki Minaj's phone for a little bit. I would love for her to go on a hiatus. Nicki, if you watch this, go on a hiatus. Okay? Then come back with an album. Drop the album so we can forget all of this that's been happening. You know, just drop the album so we can forget all of this that's been going on, because you want to savage some of your legacy. I don't know. She just starts the most random beefs, and this is something I was not expecting today on Martin Luther King's Day of all days.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of people that already said, because her album is coming out in March, and there's a lot of people saying they're not buying her album when it comes out because they were mad over her Turning Point USA interview with Erica Kirk. And they didn't like all the stuff she was saying and how she was kissing Donald Trump's butt all over that interview. And people just didn't like it. And they are saying they are not buying any more of her music. And there was a petition online, and they were getting, and I think they got well over 100,000 signatures to deport Nicki Minaj. So all of that is kicking up again. People are calling for her to be deported because she is illegal. She's not here legally, y'all. Now, she's been here since she was a child, but she did not get her citizenship. So, yes, technically, she can be deported. None your business. 11:15. Thank you for the super chat. Somebody needs to remind Nicki that she can be deported, and unless I'm mistaken, didn't she herself say that she is here illegally? Well, yeah, and plus people online did research and said she is not legal. So you would think, that being said, she would kind of lay low and not be out here, starting beefs and just kind of be humble and be quiet. But I guess she don't know what that is. Mm-mm-mm. So a lot of people felt her Turning Point USA interview with Erica Kirk was her trying to get her citizenship, get a foot in the door for her citizenship, by kissing Donald Trump's behind. Yeah, that's Loretta. She just came in the room. And they think a lot of folks are making the accusation that she is trying to get her citizenship. That's what all that MAGA stuff she's been doing is all about. Mm-mm-mm. So, y'all, this is all I have for now. I'll be back a little later with another live, but Nikki better be careful. Donald Trump has not made any promises about giving her citizenship. She may get that knock at the door, and it could be ice. I'm just saying. So, y'all have a wonderful evening, and I will see you later. Shalom, family. Oh, and don't forget about the 30% off sale, both on Shopify and on Etsy. And again, I did get a few more donations, so thank you to the people that donated. I'm still working on getting the funding for my surgery. So thank you, everybody, and have a wonderful evening.